Sonic signs start to appear in the crowd. So who knows, maybe the boys in blue are starting to turn people over. 2 more games left to play here as we take tour angle once more.
Oh, what is the plane path going to provide, as it does look like we're going to be going over Stolber yet again. North plane path coming down over military bases. I know some eyes can be drawn that direction.
Sure can, sure can. We've been down here quite a few times in this tournament already. So if we were to go here once more, it would be no big surprise to anyone. Forest out early, Game BT doing the exact same thing.
I just cannot believe it. This is such a great series that we're moving into the tail end of. As our analysts love to say, the penultimate game right now, as it is just going to be pedal to the metal from here on out.
Let me put it this way. If Sonics has the opportunity right now with the lead that they currently have to close it out. They can close it out in this match. If they can go out and get themselves 10+ points, next game is theirs for the taking in terms of going out. Who knows, maybe take a fight to Twisted Minds early, maybe try and hunt down question mark, depending on how they're set at the leaderboard coming into the final game. But with the passive, and I don't say passive, with the calculated playstyle that Sonics has been kind of incorporating as of this tournament in particular, I'm not seeing them try and go out and go flashy. I'm seeing them saying, you know what, guys, it's been working so far. Yes, we had 2 bad games, but let's just go back to it again, because it has really been effective from start to finish.
You have to admit, they're a very, I would say, Circle 4 and 5 focused team right now. They are perfectly fine with letting the rest of the game kind of play out, as long as they don't really have to get too involved until the stage that they want to. Sometimes that can be a problem.
This is a gamble that has paid off massively for question mark. Question mark loots Primorsk. Primorsk was easily within reach, but when there was a time to go out and say, you know what, boys, I'm feeling the military. You know what, boys, I don't want to loot next to Sonics this game, and you gamble on it, and then you get this circle, that could be tournament winning potentially for the boys currently sat in 3rd.
I just get worried about debates on circles, man. We've seen the circle a couple of times.
That's true.
And I want everybody mathematically knows how these things should go, but math is just out the window. Every single one of like my high school teachers would be watching the math and geometry on this, losing their minds.
Sure would. Let's take a look at the leaderboard with Gen G getting looted on up on military. Look at the jump from 3rd down to 4th. 23 points down to Danawa. As much as I said, this is Sonic's chance to really separate themselves for the final game. This is also what I feel like the only chance for anyone in 4th and down to get in on the hunt for the trophy.
I mean, 2 games, 11 points at the top of the leaderboard is not a lot. And so there are a lot of things that we're going to be looking at, but we are at least looking at a separated top 3. But after that, it just gets so much messier down this leaderboard, as so many of these teams are just absolutely neck and neck. And Twisted Minds, yep, this is the time to do it if you're going to do it.
There's a team you don't oftentimes see commit to the early emergency pickup. That would be the boys right here. Currently sat in 2nd place. We're hearing shots coming through. I believe that's Xiaoyang from the other side. Now shots coming through. Yep, from the north. There's no one on the south side, but here they go, flying up high. If Xiaoyang hits one here, that could be very, very brutal for the team currently trying to make their way down towards Millie.
You know, whenever you're on a roller coaster and it's doing that start right before the very first like drop off, and it's just doing a tick, 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 tick thing up. That's what I always feel like right here. Is it's just like I have no control. It's about to be adrenaline. Just hands off the wheel. What's gonna happen is gonna happen.
We saw the trajectory. We saw the line that Twisted Minds is flying in. If they're fast about it, if they're smart about it, they could take out Dante. There's one player sat on the observatory right now, and there would be no time at all, even when the parachutes are popped, full question mark to regroup fast enough up on the tower up high. So if they go for it, if they see Dante alone, that could be a huge game in the making for Twisted Minds.
You can see Sonic's kind of eyeing the pier, and that's going to be the way to go, bringing vehicles over, making sure that that is prepped. Gen G did kind of have a position on the southern area of military base on the opposing pier where it was going to be landing at. They have now moved more into the east, and that is a big benefactor. Is uh-oh, Twisted Minds, where are you dropping? And I'm nervous.
They're going in that direction. They're going towards the tower up high now. Adusia is getting closer to the hilltop itself, but I'm curious to see if they're going to commit to it, because even if they do, it is still a 4 versus 2. The numbers are going to be in their favor. We're not seeing any knocks in the kill feed yet, as the first teams are starting to fly in, but Tulix able to get on off as the first shot comes through. Lou, solid positioning, because here Dante very, very ready with the Panzerfaust in hand.
This is a massive game for the leaderboard. We've got 1 and and 2 and 3, I'm sorry, stacked up on top of each other right now. Twisted Minds, 2 members down, but they've got the high ground into it. A Doozy having to make his way up that hillside. The Panzerfaust's never got to come out.
It's done. They should not imagine a Doozy wanting to commit to this. Yes, there's 2 players knocked. He needs to hit a Hail Mary with this nade. Lopped on over. Does it go far enough? No. Falls short. Perfectix finds him. That's a Doozy down. Back-to-back great games for Question Mark, but now down to just Bestelodge left alive. Twisted Minds on the other hand, they dared. They committed to the early jump towards the tower. They said that at 5 minutes in, no one's going to be grouped up there, and you can see the frustration on the faces of the Question Mark players as they realize that what could have been one of the best games for them of the tournament has just been completely pulled out from underneath them.
And now they have to worry about everybody else nipping at their heels. Yeah, there was a drop-off behind them, but down to 1. We've seen them last game. They managed to make something happen here, but to die at the hands of Twisted Minds out of anyone is so impactful.
See the frustration. I know it's annoying, a Doozy, but you gotta shake it off. You gotta get ready for the final match. There's still 1 more left to play. Now over to Lipovka, over to Duck Juice, and then straight over to Question Mark afterwards. As Bestelodge here in the vehicles from Gen G. I mean, Bestelodge, well, I mean, in all fairness, Dante did it last game. Now it's your turn, buddy. Rag up some extra points for the team, because more than ever, you're in need of him.
Yeah, this is, you can see he's trying to navigate away from any sight lines. He knows exactly where Twisted Minds is at. He knows that they can enforce that. I will say, also, that shot from Lou was so impactful.
The fact that it takes him down right as he's about to shoot the Panzerfaust as well.
That was just a massive knock inside that firefight, a massive knock for this leaderboard and the positioning for Twisted Minds. You can see the Expendables having to deal with Forest, but a couple of good nades coming out from Delwyn, going to kind of stop what's going on. Duck Juice going to be able to get out of this one and regroup, as this is a Lipo fight of all things.
Going here for boats, and both teams catching each other at the exact same time. Nice. Again, we're seeing so much isolation play being coming out here with the blue zone nades. Set up a blue zone nade, force all the players into one corner, and then spam them with nades, with mollies, whatever, you name it. Lob it all up there and claim points off of it. Master, the only player left alive now as Tanvu and 777. You would imagine an opportunity in getting the kill confirmed here.
And Force was doing a good job on stringing some games together, picking up some points. They were wanting to try to make themselves into that top half of the leaderboard. Now down in a pretty desperate situation. Falcons, though, also going to be flying down from the heavens. A similar path. They got shooed away by the people that were playing the top of that hillside.
It's quiet for a split second, but here comes the push on through. Tanvu, a few extra shots just to make sure that he stays down as Forest Gaming is eliminated. For Expendables, huge game for them. They can still climb further up the leaderboard. Now, that's 1 point grabbed. 1 team pushed down. Gen G now down in last, but there's a bit of a jump up to GP in 14th. Again, where they might be out of winning, but so much money is on the line here with every single placement spot they take.
I mean, this Riyadh prize pool is absolutely insane. So every position point you can get is just going to be, that's going to modify so much of the training, the amount of time that you can spend dedicating into just playing more ranked, not having to go to work, do all those other things. Every bit of money that you can pick up here is going to cement you into a better position to make more money at PGC.
Exactly.
Danoa making their rotation in. They're going on that western bridge. No bridge camps to be had over there, as we do have Tyloo on the eastern bridge phase. It's going to be playing to the south of the eastern bridge. As T5 not going to lean into an emergency pickup yet. I think that's kind of the learned lessons, is the way that these circles can shift. Don't do it until you have to.
That's the thing, right? Because there is still, I mean, while we are kind of just already alongside the players for the most part, calling this a military circle, there is enough space up north that this one could swing up without it having to be a, jaw-dropping mega hard shift. It could still go north. And right now, pretty much everyone is committed to the southern side. Tyloo not really gone for it just yet. And then, of course, the late rotators in Expendables, 3rd on 5, and Game PT aren't quite there yet either.
Sonic's going to be just kind of wrapping, and there's nobody around. Almost closest team going to be the 17 Gaming, and that's way further north, up in the military base proper itself. Falcons, who we just saw make their drop, they did land along this line, but Sonic's probably going to be eyeing a bit more into that eastern terrain just to try to get more centered. But surprise, surprise, Southwest paying up yet again for him.
Yeah, sure has so far. Again, I mean, it's all about the sun's position in the sky compared to what they're lying to look at. It seems at this point, regardless of the map, they'll find their way in from the southwest side. This Tyloo now, again, still sat in this position, waiting for teams to come their way. We
do need to keep an eye on Danoa. It looks like they're going to be prepping up in that same ferry. They're going to be coming right back behind Sonics. There is presently H1 playing back in where the ferry is going to stop at, but I don't think that he's going to stay in that position by himself. If anything, this is more probably just getting more of the loot situated, kind of prepping out, making sure that they're getting ready for what's going to be the next stage.
I would imagine that they're going to sit around here, at least wait out this next circle. As you said, 10 seconds to go until the next one pops. Third on 5 are getting ever so much closer, soon within audible range of Danoa as this circle pops. South, north, where are we going? South. Military base confirmed.
And most of the teams breathing a sigh of relief with the way that the circles have been popping. Okay, this one's going mathematically the way that we thought it should. Tyloo not going to have anybody that they can really bridge camp, so they're going to cut a path in. But Danoa caught up around Ferry Pier. Guess what? It's going to be T5. This is how they want to come in.
They heard the vehicles, and now third on 5, a team that will do everything they can to avoid early on confrontation. Opting to wrap back north around smart rotation on their part. As I say that, though, Rosented goes, hey, guys, let me just check if you can aim. Good thing for him is that Anonix, what could have been a free point there, not going to go his way.
It's a bit nerve-wracking for Danoa as well, as they do have Soul that's already back on the island itself. Tyloo taking no chances in this one is, remember, we do have Twisted Minds, high ground, advantage, taking the shots in, using that underpass to kind of sneak their way down and through. This is becoming a much more popular route to avoid the catastrophe of that bridge camp that usually happens in the south.
This is something where you go, I don't think the devs had thought that this was going to be used more for vehicles than for people on foot, but that's pretty much exclusively what we're seeing, those lower staircases being used for these days. Smart to abuse the catwalk when there's space for US to wrap on down.
And I did like the fact that Expendable stopped on this peninsula. 3 members up. They left Duck Juice, grabbed the boat. He wrapped in. They are going to be coming into this one. Nobody really in front of them. Nobody in Novo. They've got a couple of options they can work around. FaZe, though, got to be careful.
Gustav
G is pretty close here.
The Panzerfaust just over the top, finds one instantly traded in return, though, as the flush does come through. Tainment goes down, and just like that, Gen G forced to regroup. Pio backs off. He had just gotten rest himself, so the timing could not have been any better for FaZe Clan. Issue is, they lose Corexi, but at least they have now gotten a foot in the center of the circle.
I still enjoy the fact that FaZe we're seeing come in with confidence inside of their approaches. They are not afraid to commit into something. They know a lot of these choices that they're having to make aren't the best ones. And sometimes it's just better to commit to the strategy that you can get than just trying to, you got to make the most of what you can. So have everybody on the same page, send it, hope the fact that you can firefight your way out of it.
Not sure if Sonics had a flare gun in hand, if they've just been blessed with a crate landing on the southern side of the island. But Shrimsy should be well kitted out for any fights to come, with a crate landing right next to him on that southern side. Danoa, of course, as we saw before, they heard them in the vehicles around, but I think third on 5 again, they're not liking this at all.
And we do have, if you mind, game BT that is going to be wrapping over here. They've been eyeing this bridge for a while now. No big firefights, but Daku's got to be careful. They're going to be running right over next to that 6-pack, and it's going to be Thanadol that's going to be there. It's Hata as well, just waiting, spotting this one out, and Daku does read it. Here's the vehicles as well, and he's going to retreat.
No. Turns around, and smart play on him. Able to get out there safely again. Of course, it is only phase 2, so not too much damage is being done. Thanadol has plenty of bandages to work with. As I say, that actually only 3, but enough meds between them that they should be able to sit around here at least for a little while longer.
But it is also going to be a lot of meds that are going to be burned out, and their pathing doesn't have a lot of compounds that are going to be in play in front of them. So they're going to be kind of setting themselves up for some risk in these later game firefights, as a lot of these meds are going to be hard to retrieve.
Definitely. Hella trying to swim on over as the remaining players of Game PT try to get to safety on the Millie Island. In the meantime, best of luck, as we saw earlier, the entire team down but him. He is going to be sat here hoping to claim just anything for him and his team. Haisaki falls as the circle swings east, and oh my lord, Twisted Minds, a team that we rarely ever, if ever at all, see commit to the emergency pickups. Here, they committed, they dead, and they have just been blessed with a hard shift and a half.
Radio Tower Central, my lord, how do you handle this one? Sonic's already regrouping. Looks like they're going to commit into the south. Our teams that are playing more into the west and up into that hillside, realizing that they're not in the prime territories. 17 Gaming can't even really find a good pathing to work around yet. This is just pretty much Twisted Minds with so much control.
Now, one thing I was a little worried about, because they did fly very early on, do they have ammo to sit up here and just shoot for days? We know that there are dead question mark players up here as well, so some loot should be there, but we see it oftentimes where they have plenty but just can't get it going here. We see the double from Phil first, really tried all he could to fend off against them, but a doozy came up a little too late.
See the Sonics approach to the south. This is also pretty big, as note, only 8 points separating out Sonics and Twisted Minds. High ground advantage for Twisted Minds does mean that they're going to be able to do a lot of harassment, while we have Sonics that's kind of playing in a more, I guess, dangerous position and much harder to get kills out of.
Believe me, whenever Sonics start fighting Expendables, if that does happen, regardless of it, whenever Twisted Minds realize on what side of the circle Sonics are, if they're at any point within reach, they'll have a guy dedicated to try and shoot at them, to make their lives miserable for this entire game.
Keeping an eye on these rotations, T5 has now managed to get at least one member inside the safe zone. Danawa is eyeing the pathing along this road where we do see Sonics that are playing from. Might lead to a dust up. Best of luck. Ooh, having to run away, does manage to kind of thread the needle, but you can see his vehicle is not happy. Having to hop inside the shack, he just jumps, bails out of it, realizes the risk, but right on the edge of this zone, and Solo.
It's not a fun time to be a question mark player in this match, that's for sure. As now Xiaobei and the remaining 17 players try to wrap out towards the east once more. Shushu did take it down just before, so the remaining two here in Xiaobei and Lil Ghost try and cross on over. They should be able to do so, yes, able to sit tight on the other side.
Now we can see that Dips becoming the factor of what you've got to play over into this western area, kind of playing the piece of the pie that's over on that northeastern area for military base proper itself. Lots of shots coming out. It's going to be PO, moved back into that strong position he was trying to play from earlier that FaZe was controlling, but they have now shifted more into the hillside that's just going to be to the east of that, moving much more into that radio tower satellite building areas. Tickleton did move down to the south and was trying to set up a crossfire, and that did stop out a bit of what we see Danoa trying to set up, but Salute trying to do a similar fashion.
Talked about the crate just before as well. MK14 in the hands of Strimsy as he tries to find more. Nonix is knocked, but he's in a car, trying to be brought to safety. In the meantime, now FaZe, they were sat on the other side of the road just before, but they saw and heard the vehicles from 17 putting up. They want to make a play. Issue is, as soon as they peek on over that ridge for him, and Falcons as well have angles on them. So now once more, they're forced to back off.
Oh, new circle pops, and it stays right on top of radio tower. Reinforcement for FaZe could be coming, as Jinji does look like they're moving into that 17 line. The Danoa Sonic standoff still going to be going on. If you mind, Game PT does spot out Uba. They get to knock into him, and here they come. Where are they going to even try to land in this?
Where is Na'Vi going? If they're going up high as well, that will be a very late commit to a very, very dangerous play. You'd have to imagine that Twisted Minds is looking in the sky right now. They're going to be that much closer to the opponents as well, so we're going to have to wait and see where the three Na'Vi players that did manage to get away drop down. They're going straight in towards Expendables. You could only imagine that this fight is going to be over in a second.
They're going to have to land hot and heavy. They're going to go for some firefighting off of it on the get-go. 17 Gaming, though, they still have to make a pathing into the circle. We do have the land. It's going to be Na'Vi. Lance gets the initial knock on a 777. They are out in the open, but they're just trying to lean into their aim, but it's going to be time to move down and find another one, and that's going to be it. Na'Vi did not find the landing that they wanted.
Coming into the grand finals, Na'Vi looked like a team that was going to take the win from start to finish, but now things have fallen apart. 11th place is where they're currently sat, but at the end of this game, it could be even further down. Sonics heard the commotion. They want in on the action.
Creeping into this one, see, they've got to be careful. This is a very vertical angle to play from. Low ground, Duck Juice can put in so much work if he walks out. Nades coming through. Sonics know that they need to get some points out of this one. They've got Twisted Minds high ground and nipping at their heels on that leaderboard. Duck Juice, are you going to be able to make this play happen?
When, oh, when does it jump up? When, oh, when does it start shooting? Here comes the first shot. From 1.2. Tanmu finds the third. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, Sonics are torn apart.
Twisted Minds, high ground, Sonics now gone. This is the opportunity. They now look down into that sightlines. They saw it. Na'Vi out. Danawa just clinging to the south. Question mark. Solo, what can you do from here, Twisted Minds?
Oh my God. 2 times they fall early, and a third was meant to be. They still have one more game to play, but with the position that Twisted Minds currently has, it should require a miracle for Sonics to go in to that final match in first place.
Sonics wanted to lock the door behind them, but instead now Twisted Mind with all of the keys to be playing from. Jinji trying to push in from this western area. They're being held out right now by, if you mind, Game PT as well as T5. Falcons do see a bit of what's going to be going on here and might harass some of this firefight.
See now, PO peeks on over, instant headshot, met Propeller. Fall down, that's going to allow them to cross further forward. Issue is Daku is there just on the other side, takes down PO, and return of that is going to be Genji down and out. Nice push for Game PT, who continues to come out victorious against their brethren in Genji.
Let's also keep our eye on Danoa. They're doing a very slow wrap down here to the south. There are a couple of kill opportunities, but there's an entrenched Cerberus that is in front of them. They're kind of playing that no man's land to the south as well. But Twisted Minds, very focused up in the north. No surprise, we're keeping that radio tactic active, but we're also getting the Badlands down to the south as a key component.
How much impact can they have? You're already seeing the flushes start to come through. Fights are starting to take place closer and closer towards the observatory tower itself. So Twisted Minds will be very active in trying to claim as many points as they can before eventually having to come off the hill. Having
to just fight along this hillside, nobody wanting to reveal too much. Danoa trying to creep forward. 17 Gaming is going to get eliminated. The Expendables wanting to try to climb up this leaderboard, but Danoa, they want it so bad. They know the fact that Question Mark is down, weakened. They know Sonics are out. If they can string together a solid game here, they could start trying to assault up this leaderboard, and with 777 down, it's going to be Cerberus that's providing some support.
Yeah, Cerberus from inside the ball on the other side, trying to find as many points as possible. That's going to be the end of the Expendables. 11 plays for them.
And here we go on the west. It's about to pop off. We've got FaZe that's going to be moving down into the south. T5 that's trying to fend up, where we see If You Mind Game PT at Falcons trying to fend in. Best of luck, just trying to creep in, sneak inside the circle, and oh my god, Bath Bomb just trying to use the vehicle to dodge out the mollies.
Yeah, able to do so as well. Able to stay put here, but as you're saying, teams are getting so close to one another, and once the second knock comes through over this hillside, you'd imagine that the fight is going to be done in a blink of an eye. Fex and Gustav creeping on forward. I think they wanted to play the northern side, but there's nothing left for them to play at this point. The circle has come too close. They've snuck up, they found the knock, and maybe, just maybe, they'll commit to the northern side anyway.
This is just such a hazard place to be trying to play from. If You Mind Hush trying to creep forward. Falcon still holding down the high ground, but it's not like they can go for too many big peaks on it. Silzen trying to shut down this angle, and he manages to do it. Best of luck, still going to be creeping back. Is Imi going to spot him, though?
Nice place here from Falcons. We're seeing them take full control of this ridgeline. 7 kills already, and all 4 players still on their feet. A lot of teams in the nearby vicinity on the leaderboard, too, so look to Falcons potentially aim for a top 5 finish here on the leaderboard by the end of this game.
Yes, a lot of eyes are drawn to this hillside as, yes, we do have Twisted Minds holding down the radio tower itself, but 4 angry men have got the satellite compounds. They're defending this out, and this is why we're seeing so much of the defended line over on this angle. Tai Lu doesn't want to have to deal with the Twisted Minds angle, shifting in, but there's nowhere for them to go.
Tai Lu is tanking so much blue, they thought they could wrap around the ridgeline, but it was too steep, and now they're setting the ball outside the circle with nowhere left to go. Xiao Yang falls to the blue as well, as Shen and 777 try to get to safety, but there's nowhere for them to go. No, it's Sin and Lane, sorry. This is crucial.
Danoa doing a similar path. They're just going to go ahead and hop in their vehicles. They're going to cut in right next to Cerberus, right below this, with Tai Lu at least manages to get pretty close in, but they're right up on top of 4 angry men. Shin, Longs, what can you do? You've now made yourself entirely surrounded.
Yeah, trying to stay alive is not going to be easy at all, especially when you have the entirety of 4 AM lingering around the side. Longs forced to go out the backside of the building. Not going to happen, not going to work for him at all. Xiao Pian claims the double, as that's going to be Tai Lu down and out.
Sneaky, sneaky. Best of luck still staying in line, watching in as Falcons now have their attention drawn to this Danoa Cerberus situation. He might be able to creep into yet another circle as Falcons have an unofficial 5th member that's just watching everything that they do. But Danoa, how many points can you get over here? They're going to take the shots for Cerberus to make a send right into the center.
For Danoa, it's a chance to get up with the top 3 teams. For Twisted Minds, it's a chance to claim first. Of a question mark, it's all about just staying alive.
How much more can you get, Twisted Minds? There is just a couple of points separating you out from first. You've got the high ground, but the circle has shifted away from you, and you know, trying to come down this radio tower, it is a mess.
The circles favor Twisted Minds, or at least they have so far now. Perfectix, of all players on the server, is being blessed with a P90 for the late game up-close battles. We are bound to happen at some point soon.
Just riding this one out, trying to pick up as many points. He knows Danoa is still alive. Best of luck. Just let it go. Lu sneaks down with his best of luck, manages to get 2 of them down. The distraction, though, massive as Falcons has to shift back in. This opens up the door for Danoa, and with Danoa now having to shift her attention, that's going to allow Lu to get a foothold in the circle.
What a play from Best of Luck. What a play indeed. Again, every single point he can claim for his team are points that could turn this one in their favor. Trying to stay ahead of Danoa, who are currently on the hunt for top 3.
With that, though, Twisted Mind's just bailing off the top. Spyro is going to go down as he makes a bad, hard landing on this one. Perfectix trying to come down the hillside. He's pretty close to the circle as well. Batulin's the last one up, just trying to get that last bit of information for his squad to feed over so that way they can make the best plays moving forward.
Also absolutely huge that Bestalage does what he did here to Falcons, because it allows for for Twisted Minds to hop off the mountain. They were set in a position from where they could contain. But right now, Bestalage, even if he falls, has done enough damage to allow for Twisted Minds to get off Observatory.
Danoa now making the push in. They want to see if maybe they can pick up a bit of these kills. Anonix, Soul right up on top of that hillside. Falcons now just getting backstabbed, realizing there's not a lot of cover to be had. Danoa is already taking control over these hillsides. There is nothing for them to work with.
Not at all. Not at all. Luckily for Twisted Minds, they're able to get the res up out to Spiro. So, gets to live for the scan. That salute. Doesn't spot Perfectix, but of course the knocked player, when they see it in the kill feed, they know they've made their way down. Now, Perfectix, P90 in hand, is starting to creep ever so much closer to Salute, and he's hearing the footsteps.
Just playing this one 2 and 4 lined up against each other, with Twisted Minds having the opportunity to stab this one, get first place, just 3 points back behind it. P90 in Perfectix's hands. All the tools are going to be there for Angry Men, though, being a chaotic factor down into the south, going to make it even harder for Falcons, but it's going to be Sills, and yet again, making the play when it matters.
Loving the positioning here from Falcons. One up close, one further behind to pay attention. Now, DraftKings, though, seen from the side, is going to be forced off the angle from Soul. Soul, though, has to now got bigger things to worry about. As one big sun over. Salute does get one in return, but that's going to be the end of it. Falcons falls.
Panzerfaust, Spyro's hand. Salute has got to be careful. It's going to be more explosions happening right up on top of him. Twisted Minds, can you make something happen here? You're so close. Just one more point is all you need.
Yep, ever so much closer. Spiro tries to make something happen. Whenever anyone peeks over this ridge, you can be sure there's going to be a Panzerfaust flying forward. No, he doesn't get it off in time. Salute peeks on over, finds him. Onyx on the other side takes one down too.
Danoa realizes that this is an opportunity to get a ton of points. They've weakened the squad that was vying up for in first. Perfectix gets the res. They're looking in, but Soul walks right up into it. Twisted Minds goes down.
Danoa is on the hunt. Danoa is back in form, and they're looking for top finishes here. 3 teams left alive. They've still got the entirety of 4 AM to deal with, unless if Solorsi can do something for them. Can't find the first. Xiaopian gets the knock, but with 1 HP to work with.
4v3 lined up in the inn. 4 Angry Men wanting to get themselves a game. 1 point behind Forest right now, but Danoa, eyes on the prize. They want more. They want to be creeping up in and fighting against question mark in this last game.
Sure do. They sure do. Things quiet down for a moment. There's still some distance in between the 2 teams. Xiaolu up close on the right side with HSMM right next to him now. Peeks on over, spots Anonix jumping for info up the top. You've got to keep in mind, Danoa has been on this side of the circle for so long. They have very limited info from what's happening on this side. Now it's when they're starting to spot these 4 AM players for the first time.
We are in phase number 7, waiting to see how we're going to be moving into phase number 8, where that last dot is going to lie. But we can see Anonix, Salute trying to move more down into the south, and man, these guys are on fire right now. They just line that one up and get a knock. That means that we're looking at a 3v3 situation if they can manage to get the flush.
If there's a time for Danoa to get things going, it is about time right here, right now. Coming out victorious would put them so close to question mark and within reach of a potential first place. Could they get back-to-back top performances? Salute has done everything he possibly could to try and claim this one for his team, but the job ain't done yet.
Oh, this flank could spell it all. Anonix playing that high ground, trying to be the distraction, letting him sneak in. He hasn't spotted it yet, but as the res comes out, he does spot the heads pop up. He's now revealed himself. Shift comes back out from 4 Angry Men. Can the high ground do enough to support him? Soul now starting to brave his way down the hillside and spots out one.
Soul finds one, Xiaopian instantly there to return it. Now on the other side, Soul finds a second, and Onyx finds the third. And just like that, it's only Crazy left alive, but they've lost him. He's on the other side. The issue is, if they get a chance to reset, if they get a chance to push up together, they might just be all right. And Onyx hears him, sees him, shoots him, can't connect.
Now just dancing around at Crazy, realizing he's just going to have to bold push right up into Anonix, and Anonix does not allow it. We are moving into an absolutely wild last game.
What a finish for Danoa to come out victorious, to be sat down the hillside with only Salute tasked to hold off the entirety of an aggressive, twisted Minds. They take them out, they reset, they clean sweep, they take out effectively the last 4 teams all together in their victory here in the second to final match.
1 point, Toby. 1 point separates out first and a massive prize pool.